I have something important to share on my heart today. You are the change that's needed. You are the change that's needed to change the dominant drinking culture that we have and the way that we're all pressured socially to drink. You are literally changing culture and giving other people a light, an example, an inspiration to live life differently. If we haven't met yet before, my name is Karolina Jodkowalska, and I'm a certified alcohol-free life coach. I'm also the author of the book Euphoric, Ditch Alcohol, and Gain a Happier, More Confident You. And I'm so passionate about the alcohol-free lifestyle and helping women transform their relationship with alcohol. Now, to me, it doesn't really matter whether you're sober serious, you are sober curious, or you're just trying to not drink for one day. Because all of this together, we are here to reevaluate an outdated relationship with alcohol. So outdated that it doesn't fit anymore for the woman or the man we want to become. Now, think about how we are all introduced to alcohol when we were younger. I don't know how old you were, but I started drinking regularly at 17. And last time I checked, I did not have a fully formed brain at 17. I was 25 when that happened. And I started drinking at 17 pretty regularly because I thought it was my key to fitting in. I thought it would help me belong with other people. I thought it would make me more confident. I thought that it also proved that I was an adult. I thought it made me more independent, and I thought it showed that I was rebellious. You see, in high school, I was a smart kid. I did my homework. I got the AP classes. I got into good college. So while I was definitely with that, more nerdy or smart kind of kid group, I thought drinking would also prove that I was cool, right? That I was rebellious, that I could be independent. And I remember for me, it wasn't even necessarily peer pressure, but it was really this like, I want to be an adult and I want to prove to other people that I'm an adult too. Now, I started drinking regularly when I was 17, but the first time I tried alcohol was much younger than that. I was actually 13 when I first tried alcohol, and then I probably drank less than a handful of times between the ages of 13 and 17. Thank God. But as I grew up, as I started going to college, this idea that alcohol made me independent, adult, rebellious, helped me be more confident, helped me exude a different personality, was really embedded into my consciousness. And, I drank a lot when I was in college. I had no boundaries around alcohol. I have no qualms about that to admit that. I drank way too much, way too often. I also carried those habits in with me to grad school. So it really wasn't until I was around 25 that I started to kind of peel the curtain back on the drinking. And I kind of figured that when I was younger, it was okay to overdrink. It was okay to go out and party a lot. But as I got older, I'd have to rein it in. And so that was what my goal was. When I was turned around 25, I had already started a serious career about that point. I didn't like being hungover for work, so I basically only saved my drinking for the weekend. And on the weekend, I tried to do it more responsibly. It wasn't the bar that I was going out to till 2 a.m. It was the dinner party. I was there with my parents, right? All these kind of responsible things. And as I look back at how I formed a relationship with alcohol, I noticed that the habits that I formed when I was younger and this crutch that I had formed out of alcohol, this reliance to be confident and to feel like an adult and to feel sophisticated, had really kind of carried its way to my relationship with alcohol, even as I got older and more responsible and more healthy and more mindful. It's like this outdated relationship I was still carrying. And it was very much so an unconscious habit. You just do it. You just go to a restaurant and order a drink. You just go on a vacation and order a drink. All these different times when I just thought it was so normalized in my life. And when I changed my relationship with alcohol, I had huge epiphanies, not only about myself and what I'm capable of without it, but also really challenging this notion that alcohol is a normal, necessary part of our existence here on this planet. Now, when you do something for so long or something has always been the way it's always been, it's so hard to see outside of that. It's so hard to see a different way, right? But I love being really objective about things. Imagine if this alien race came to visit us and they saw all these people drinking regularly, right? And they were able in their science labs to to, chemically understand what alcohol does to the human body. And they're like, wow, this really messes them up. This really makes them feel slow and lethargic the next day. This really disrupts their sleep. This really harms their brain cells. This really impacts their heart. This really is bad for their liver. This really, all these different things. And they would be like, why are these humans all drinking this stuff? I don't get it, right? Just to socialize? I mean, isn't there some better substitute they could have thought of over the millennium by now, right? And that's what I really truly believe will happen, is that even in the next few decades, we're going to see a huge shift in what we're drinking, because it's almost asinine. Why are we drinking a poison to socialize? Can't we figure something better out? Isn't there some other substitute that's going to come up in the next future years that literally isn't so harmful for us? I mean, it's almost crazy to think about. And so, as we are going into this new trajectory, as the alcohol-free movement is growing, this recent Gallup poll shared that 4 out of 10 Americans do not drink anymore. So 4 out of 10 Americans no longer drink. Now, in the remaining 6, half of those people actually wish that they drank less or not at all. This is one of the biggest trends that is happening and shaking our planet and our people. But for most people, they haven't heard of it. For most people, you literally might be the only one deciding to take a break from alcohol or re-examine your relationship with it. And now, why it's so important for me that you stay strong and confident in this ability is that you are literally the change that we need. You are the change that we need. Because if it's not us, if it's not our generations, the ones that are adults right now, our children will pick up this same culture. The same culture that tells them it is the secret to belonging and coolness and sophistication and everything you want in life is the secret is found in alcohol. They will be challenged when they say no thank you to a drink. They will be challenged as to why they are not drinkers in their careers or in networking events or in college or when they're older. If we are not the generations that change this now, our kids will be left with this social pressure to drink. Now, maybe you're thinking to yourself, okay, Carolina, it's not really a social thing for me. I actually drink at home. I totally understand that, right? I mean, especially with the pandemic, we really don't socialize as much as often as we used to. And a lot of people brought alcohol back into the home, sometime into their drinking life. And that seems to be the bigger problem. That seems to be the thing that's really hard to shake. It's not the socializing aspect. It's how do I deal with breaking the habit at home? Now, that's the thing, is that first, yes, that is the challenge. That's the thing that you have to work through. That is the mindset and ability to heal and soothe your emotions and deal with pent-up stress and adrenal overload and all these different things that you have to heal as you go and change that habit. But I have not met a single person, irregardless of whether or not they worried about drinking socially or not, who then, after they take a break from alcohol, are then a little concerned about, well, what do I say to someone when I go out? When I'm around someone who isn't asking me for a drink, what the heck am I going to say? What the heck are people going to think about me? And for so long, being a non-drinker has carried stigma. Not only has there been the stigma of, ooh, you must have had a problem, or, there's something wrong with you. There was also this added attachment of, you must be boring. You don't know how to have fun, right? And so we've put this stigma on people who are choosing not to ingest a toxic, substance, and made it that we have to defend ourselves. And I've had so many clients and people talk to me that, when they've explained they're not drinking, sometimes someone's like, are you pregnant? Are you an alcoholic? As if those two are the only reasons why we wouldn't want to ingest a toxic substance like alcohol. Now, alcohol has been tied to cancer. Like, there is no safe amount of alcohol when it comes to your cancer risk. In fact, only 2 drinks a week increases the risk of cancer for breast cancer for women. And then recently, too, we've now learned that alcohol is really bad for your heart as well. This myth that a glass of wine a day is good for you has been debunked. And now the World Health Organization is saying a glass of wine is actually bad for your heart every day. Now, this has actually lived in the scholarly articles for quite a while, but it's now just coming into the forefront of our mainstream consciousness and headlines. Why? Because the alcohol industry doesn't want it to come to the forefront, right? They rely on these studies that say moderation is good for you. The thing is, though, alcohol industry doesn't actually really rely on moderation. They say drink responsibly, but if everyone actually drank responsibly, the alcohol industry would be tanked. They would not make nearly like 90% of the money that they make. So it's always been this onus of responsibility is on you and not the product itself, right? As if like there's something wrong with you if you can't handle the relationship with alcohol. There's nothing wrong with you. It is a toxic substance. It has negative effects on everyone who drinks it. It affects all humans' bodies the same in that it has negative consequences on your mental system, on your body, on your sleep cycles, on your anxiety levels. All these things happen to everybody if they're only cognizant enough to recognize it. And these things get worse as we get older, right? So an 18-year-old, actually, it only takes 3 hours for her body to detoxify alcohol, whereas it takes a 36-year-old like 36 hours. So these things change over time. So maybe some of the effects you didn't notice when you're younger, but they add up as you get older. Suffice it to say is that nobody needs to have an excuse not to drink. Nobody needs to feel like the odd one out. No one needs to feel like what they're doing should be challenged or that defended or that they don't have permission to simply say no thank you. Because if we are not the generation that changes this, if we, the people, the adults right now, are not the ones who change the culture, this pressure to drink, this, this questioning of like, well, what if I do say no and then they don't think I'm fun and then my boss won't hire, all of these limiting stories that we've told ourselves, then our kids will also face that pressure when they come of age and see only really one way when it comes to alcohol, that they have to drink it. I think that we need to be the change that we wish to see in the world. I think it starts with you. And I think what you're doing not only is something that helps you grow so much personally, but is also something that is changing our fundamental society and showing to ourselves that we can connect without alcohol and that we can live these bold, beautiful lives that are so fun without damaging our bodies and our souls. So if you found this inspiring, if you found anything that I said relatable, if you want to be that change you wish to see in the world, don't shy away. When people ask or you're out somewhere and you're going to say no thank you to a drink, don't shy away from asking for a mocktail when you're out at a bartender. They don't have any mocktails? Ask them why not. They say, like 4 out of 10 adults don't drink anymore. You're not going to cater to them? I mean, be a little bold and demand the change that you wish to see in your life. Because we are literally the generations that are going to change this. Because our children are not going to go through the same thing that we did in thinking that the only way to be an adult is to have a drinking habit. So you need to be the change you wish to see. Now, I just wanted to kind of get this off my heart because I've got some questions around this recently from some Become Euphoric student. And I really want to change the narrative of how we look into what it takes to change a relationship with alcohol, but also what that means about a person. Meaning that it is the greatest strength and empowering thing that anyone could ever do. And I think we should be proud of that and not hide it. I think we should start really demanding to see that change in our society. And we don't have to, get on a pulpit and get our blowhorns and shame everyone who drinks. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about not allowing the status quo to go unquestioned, that you should be shamed to not drink. That is the crazy thing. That is the crazy thing that we need to be the generation to change. And so if you found this inspiring and if you are just feeling alone sometimes in your alcohol-free lifestyle, I want you to know that you're not. Like I said, 4 out of 10 adults now don't drink. This is coming to be really on our consciousness. And maybe you're the first in your friend circle or your family member to go through it. But I bet you in 10, 20 years from now, this is going to be just like smoking cigarettes was, It's just going to fall out of fashion. It's just going to be something that less and less people do over time. So you right now are the leader. You right now are the role model. You right now are the inspirer. And I want you to be really proud of that. And if you need any support in stepping into this new role of power and feeling confident in your identity as a non-drinker, and then from that place of confidence, really discovering what new passion is going to light up your heart so that you never feel unfulfilled again. Because truly, I believe that unfulfillment is at the crux of our relationships with alcohol. Then I do invite you to work with me in my private coaching container. We work together for 4 months to heal all the past reasons why you like to drink, from the perfectionism, the shame, the people pleasing, the lack of boundaries, the low self-limiting beliefs, to really become confident in your new lifestyle and who you are as a person. And from there, discovering what lights your heart on fire so that you see alcohol as something that's just getting smaller and smaller and smaller in the rearview window as you chase this new high of really living out your purpose into your life. And I give you the exercises to determine what that is, and then the expert guidance on how to execute a goal like that. You know, maybe you want to start a YouTube channel. Maybe you want to start a community for alcohol-free women in your local city. Maybe you want to become a coach. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to get yoga teachers training certified. There's so many different dreams that people have on their hearts. And I believe when women show up and step up and claim their purposes, we change the world. And if the self-limiting beliefs and the doubt and the fear and all that is getting to you, one, you are totally normal. It is completely part of the journey of the human condition to feel that way. But two, you can't let those voices stop you, because we need you. We need you so badly. We need you to be the passionate, clear-headed, intuitive leader that the world is sorely lacking. We need you. We literally need you. And, you know, personally, working with a coach myself has helped me deepen my why and my purpose and my confidence to go after what I want in the world. And I believe that everyone deserves that gift. So if this is speaking to you, I encourage you to apply. You can go to euphoricaf.com/coaching and fill out an application. I'm only taking new clients in February, and then we will be not taking any new clients after that. So please go and check that out before it gets too late. And I would love to connect with you and see how I could support you live out your best life as a confident, alcohol-free role model. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you next week.